It is over and done with. UFC St. Louis has come and gone. Derek Lewis wins in the main event in spectacular fashion. Vintage Derek Lewis. Now what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go over and we're going to grade some of the best callouts. We're going to do the top 3 callouts, grade them, and I have a bonus offering for your viewing pleasure as well. Before we get into that, we're going to go over the fight card, but make sure you click that like, click the subscribe button, and click the notification bell to know when I am live. So let's get on over to MMAsucka.com for results. Now, the preliminary card started with 4, yes, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 decisions. Veronica Hardy defeated J.J. Aldrich by unanimous decision. Charles Johnson defeated Jake Hadley by unanimous decision. Trey Waters defeated Billy Goff by unanimous decision. And Tabitha Ricci defeated Tisha Pennington. Now, that one threw me for a loop while I was watching by split decision, 29-28, 28-29, 29-28. I was watching the fight, and I'm like, that's not Raquel Pennington fighting that fight. That's Tisha Torres. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, it's her wife. But yeah, she came back after having a child, after putting her body through some work, and got back inside the octagon. Tabitha Ricci looked very, very good in this performance and earned herself a split decision. Esteban Ribovic defeated Terrence McKinney by knockout head kick. This one was insane. He threw a left, I think, and then came up with the right high kick and sat Terrence McKinney down right against the cage, right on his butt, and he was sitting there knocked out for a few seconds. In the featured prelim, we had Chase Hooper looking probably the best we've seen him look in his octagon career, finishing Vyacheslav Borchev by submission with a slick Darce choke. He dominated on the ground for almost the entire fight, and I mean, it went 3 minutes into the second round, and epic performance by Chase Hooper. I was very impressed. This is a guy that we saw get in there, and he didn't necessarily have the best stand-up, the best, all-around MMA game. His grappling was ridiculous. His grappling was and once it hit the ground, you knew that Chase Hooper had everything in his will to be able to finish the fight. However, getting it there wasn't always an option. This time he sat Borchev on his ass with some nice punches, well, with one nice punch, and was able to follow up and dictate the pace on the ground. Now we went to the main card, and this one I was the lone guy to pick Waldo Cortez Acosta in the MMA Sucka staff picks, and he defeated, I'm not even going to attempt to say that name, by unanimous decision. Sean Woodson earned a unanimous decision against Alex Caceres, and then we started getting some finishes. Diego Ferreira, with just 9 seconds left on the clock, defeated Mateus Rebecki. Carlos Erlberg defeated Alonzo Menefield by knockout in 12 seconds. This one, I think they said the 4th fastest finish in UFC light heavyweight history. Well, wicked. Alonzo Menefield looked like he wanted to come out there and push the pace, and that's what you sort of got to do against Carlos Ulberg, but not in that fashion, because Ulberg, just amazing, 12 seconds into the fight. Joaquin Buckley in the co-main event dominated Nursultan Ruzabov and earned a unanimous decision. He even got a 30-26 on that scorecard. Now, Joaquin Buckley called for a fight in UFC St. Louis at the UFC 300 press conference. The media finished asking questions, and Joaquin Buckley jumped up there, told Dana White he wanted to fight at UFC St. Louis. The fight got signed. Proved that he was belonging in St. Louis with this performance. And in the main event, Derek Lewis, vintage Derek Lewis, stopped Rodrigo Nascimento by TKO at 49 seconds into round 3. Nascimento didn't have anything other than on the ground once it went there in the first round, and then Derek Lewis, again, vintage Derek Lewis, looking like he does, got that job done. All right, let's get to why we're here. Grading the UFC callouts. I'm going to go from the top grade down like they would on report cards. Let's give Sean Woodson the feature here. He called out Bryce Mitchell in his post-fight speech, and he said, "You know what? I am a guy who needs to take on better opponents." And this guy called out Bryce Mitchell, which is a pretty killer call out. And Bryce Mitchell's ranked at 12. It looks like Sean Woodson will be ranked following this performance. So he said, I think he said in his post-fight speech that he wanted Bryce Mitchell, and Bryce Mitchell was at number 10. But Bryce Mitchell's actually ranked at 12. He dropped a spot. And he wants Bryce Mitchell. Then he wants 5 next after that, so on and so forth. I gave that grade an A, because when you're calling out a guy like Bryce Mitchell and you want to move up that lightweight ladder, or featherweight ladder, I mean, not lightweight, the featherweight ladder, that's a guy to call out. Bryce Mitchell's got a name. Sean Woodson wants to become ranked even higher, and I'll give that one an A. Let's get this one out of here and move up the ladder. The next one on the list, Chase Hooper, who I said had the best performance of his career. And he calls out Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, without saying his name, actually. He said there's a guy from England who he'd like to fight who had not a very good performance against a veteran. Now, Paddy defeated Tony Ferguson in his last fight by unanimous decision. Chase Hooper feels like he should be out there taking on Paddy the Baddy, who is not ranked, but Chase Hooper proved that he can hang with some guys that can throw some bombs on the feet, and he got the job done in his fight. So I'm giving this one a B. It was a good call out. He didn't actually say his name, but it was a good call out, and I think that I wouldn't terribly mind seeing Chase Hooper against Paddy Pimblett. The thing that I don't know is that if Paddy will take this fight, because he's likely going to want someone higher up than Chase Hooper, and I don't know whether that's bringing it down a notch for him, but in my opinion, it's a fight that I'd watch. Let's move up. 12-second man, Carlos Ulberg, calls out EA Sports and anyone ranked above him. What a call out. I'll give this one a C. It was a fun call out because he's not in the video game, yet he's on the main card of this UFC event. Now, I know I've been doing some fight simulations on EA Sports UFC 5, and there are guys that are in the main events that aren't even in this game. So get the Australian man, Carlos Ulberg, who's the 4th fastest man to finish a fight in UFC light heavyweight history. Get him in the game, EA Sports. I give that one a C because it wasn't a person, but I thought it was hilarious. So make sure you like that one and tell me how do you rank it. But we'll get this one out of here. And then I got a bonus, as I said. I wanted to do my top 3, but I got a bonus one for you guys as a call out that I actually thought was pretty funny, but it's never going to happen. There's no way this fight happens, but it's a smart move by guys to make these call outs when they get the mic. And it's Joaquin Buckley calling out Conor McGregor. I'll give it a C+ for an effort, because I feel like if you put the effort in, you deserve more than a failing grade. So I'll give him a C+. Called out Conor McGregor, even went into an Irish accent. It was pretty funny, but I don't think Joaquin Buckley's a guy that Conor McGregor's going to want to fight in there. He's going to be wanting to fight names. Maybe he'll fight for the BMF championship or something. He's not going to be fighting Joaquin Buckley. We'll see Joaquin Buckley fight someone else in the division. Now, he did mention 170 pounds, and he mentioned that Dustin Poirier is not 170, or I mean, Michael Chandler is not a 170 pounder, but I don't see a fight between Joaquin Buckley and Conor McGregor happening anytime soon. Well, that does it for the grading. You let me know your favorite callouts from UFC St. Louis. It was a fun card, despite it not being extra deep in terms of superstar name status. Obviously, we had Derek Lewis, which is always a fun fight in there in the heavyweight division. But let me know. I thought it was a fantastic card from top to bottom, fun fights on it. And let me know how you would grade the card in terms of the callouts, not in terms of the fight card itself, but the callouts. I thought there were some pretty good ones, but that does it for me here. Quick video I put out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, click that notification bell, let you know when the videos go live. I was drinking Slappies the entire time we were doing the show and the entire time we were doing the UFC fight, so check the description below to find out where you can get your Slappies. Thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.